This is the Runaway Slave Channel with the Rastafari International Ambassador, the man from Bakawal, the man from Boswak, JahBunny, the Runaway Slave, better known as the Badass. Don't get him proud.
It's Iakongoi. The issue with there I'm back with is this. When in the dark days, when we were just Rasta, black heart man, and the world respect, who no respect, afraid away. We make sense. Because this is how we come to the world attention, as black heart man, cult, idiot, madman, everything that was bad. Now, today, everybody intellectual, everybody bright, and everybody just want a fight to join Babylon and fit in a Babylon. Now, the topic of me want to touch pan, and I got to make you know now when me there. What have Haile Selassie done for us, Rasta? Because me can't see it, brother. Me can't see nothing what Haile Selassie I have done that benefit I and I today. Me can't see that, brother. I'm going to like somebody to help me understand that, brother. I don't know if my head gone. Right now, when they say these things, everybody go to them feeling and I try to justify His Majesty. But His Majesty, when we check out history, every time His Majesty come to the West here, white people him come blood clot, live with them, mingle up with them thing. He never come to the West, come deal with me yet. The first time coming to the West and come to Jamaica 1966, come deal with I. I feel diffuse I from him visitor and I them time the thing gone upside down. It turned in a church, it turned in a heavy other thing. Because the main objective when him come was to diffuse I and I. Me tell you, Rasta, me can't see. No man can show me which program Haile Selassie have set that is benefit in us today. The OAU, AAU, and all of the UM set. None of that benefit any African country or any black man today. Them things I want to talk about right now, because them things I make we just stand still and run like a dog and run off and tail. Nothing where His Majesty put in place of benefit Rasta today. Nothing went done. And these are the reality that Rasta man have to face and come to a new faculty. Because when we did that say, Rastafari, Jah is God. That never pinned down and it's like the powers that be take what we that deal with and put it upon His Majesty and then turn it in a nothing, brother. And now today, it's like a Bob Marley them I used to replace His Majesty. And there's some me there, So anytime you hear a man talk about Bob Marley, it's a next slave mentality that, brother. Because all you have to do, look upon Bob Marley as spring them. And you realize that there was nothing black there, so Bob Marley never showed you them nothing for come deal with there and I.
Well, JahBunny, that is it, That is what the whole Sankofa to the Ital Liberty thing where we are saying is the new faculty then, It's a return because nothing new under the sun. So when we are saying the new faculty, are the holding forward of what was the original, because that made us Rasta, Everything else is Rastaism and Rastafarianism and Rastafari. So are the holding on to the original Ital Liberty, and when we were outcasts, when we saw a different look towards this society where the rest of house niggers and slaves were comfortable and we were considered the dregs of society and nothing. We had a unity then amongst ourselves. We loved and protected each other to a level then. We saw ourselves as one. But no, with this intellectualization and where there's a dogmatization and religiousification of Rasta, but everybody wants to take it to this level now, out of just, see, the ground and the dirt and the hills, brother. You know, so I just want to go forward to what was that. I just a while ago, I sit down here and say, I'm sick and tired of responsibility in Babylon, you know. Because there's nothing here to be responsible for. You understand me? I try to say to the heart. Only thing you can be responsible for, my brother, is your family where they wrong you on the farm. Because everything else where you try responsible for, people sell you out, people short come, people not come, people not show up, you beg, you plead. It's a waste of your energy before you look at 30 years of your life gone and you say, but wait, now Rasta me the thing ready for this and that. No, man. It's time for I and I for just circle the wagons and know who is who, brethren. You understand? You see them brethren the way I look, they're rubbing up our shoulder with the battle and hey, something wrong with them head. Them are a rasta, you know, brother. You see me, them a rascal. We say it a long time. Them ones there, yeah, we're up here try going like say, look them, I can't read, I can't talk as intelligent as anybody, but I'm not amongst these people. I'm not running them down to go follow no Babylon system or go get involved with no government people or none of that, you know. Because look, first of all, Rastafari has not set themselves in a position to be dealing with no kind of way they call, you know, where we are work out not with nobody. We're not in a no position where we know who we is as one yet. I define one focus and one goal for benefit of Rasta for Rasta sit up in a meeting with Babylon by themselves over here so and then come tell me where them get over there so and I pull forward from the movement here right now, brother. I tell the eye that I am Rastafari, but I Rastafari and I own, you know. I up in the hills, you know, and I deal with the indigenous sovereign ital liberty. And that I look towards as Rasta now. Yeah, that's it. Where a man can choose if I can come on him compound because I him a run that the bingy space they know and that. I don't no argument with them bumble only. And I can't go on with that. That not in a Rasta. Yeah? See him so. Pick up yourself, JahBunny. Every time, man. I see him so, brother. When we were who we were the genuine article. Now we have some GMO Rastaism. And that me I try to push forward out the man so that I don't know that are going higher. The I them gone, the man them gone past where Rasta is into some falsities right now and I try to create this whole church wrong Rasta. So me I say, yeah man, some real sellout business are going fire. Yeah, Jabi, yes, I give thanks. You know, as far as dealing with His Majesty, you know, I can try reason with the hype on a level, saying, alright. So now, as far as dealing with His Majesty, I have to look on what His Majesty was facing, you know, and dealing with those times, you know. It was still these madmen. Them never even start dealing with human rights and these things yet. Them the feel say every country that was not white should be under their control and power. So His Majesty did have to go deal with them people, you know, to break certain bondage off of the black people them in general. If you notice after His Majesty you start to some freeness of bondage from black people start to take place a little bit more. You know, at the same time he could only put out the words and put out the foundation. Those who didn't grab it, those who haven't lived it, and for instance, a bare fight over the Ethiopian World Federation. If the Ethiopian World Federation was used in the sovereign way that it's supposed to be used, that was one perfect tool and vehicle His Majesty left away. Come out of this bondage and go deal with our own economics and everything, you know. And that Ethiopian World Federation set up for, you know. The OAU and these things, we overstand enough of these things based on the leadership and the separation of tribal separation, where even right now they might attack Ethiopia, the Amara, the Omoro, the Aroma, or whatever them not like Amara. So even in Ethiopia and all over Africa, imagine only Ethiopia alone I got through them tribal war there, much less all of the country them for come together as OAU. So I can't really blame what Haile Selassie attempted to put together for not working. It's the people them who supposed to make it work, never work it. So I try to work with that, the concept, you know, my brethren, because if the king come and show us that these things is, we need an organization of African unity. But I also would agree with Kwame Nkrumah that we needed a United States of Africa at that time. So I already put it out there that, you know, one of the mistakes that I see the king making was not allowing our siding with Nkrumah at that time to separate and become a United States of Africa. So I get rid of all the borders and boundaries that was put by the Berlin Conference. I owe Ethiopia and those who voted against that are guilty of making a horrible mistake. So I don't put nobody spit, shine, and clean. No one. I myself, I know I'm not spit, shine, and clean. So I don't mind saying what I see from an next person was not spit, shine, and clean. And I also give laudables and praise to the things that they do what is right. So His Majesty saying, okay, Africa should unite as one under organization. That is a correct way to go about it. How it was went about is a different thing. His Majesty is the Ethiopian World Federation where Ethiopians are everywhere in the world. We could come together and we could become a government. We could use the EWF as basically the governing body and the different committees and all of these things, yeah? So the black man needed a system, a governmental, format and formula. I think His Majesty was trying to give us that we were backwards in education and didn't know how to read and laws and rights. His Majesty was giving us that. That's why He's the liberator of I and I in that sense, Because I and I didn't know we had our own human rights, we had our own universal law. His Majesty was bringing those things out and exposing that the white man was living this and I was behind in bondage because of a lack of education. So His Majesty educating the whole of Ethiopia. Remember saying not just we have to work for him, have to work for him on a country. So we say where him set up never benefit we, him never just set it up for Rasta or set it up for we, him set it up for black people in general. If them utilize the tools and come together and unify, organize and centralize. But I was only, we organize, but we not centralize the thing. Because we will organize as Bobo, we will organize as Bingy, you over there organize as 12 Tribe. But when we centralize this thing and make one voice be heard, like we tried with the Millennium Council, that split up everybody going them one way. Cinema come with RMO, cinema come with Raga, cinema come. So it's just a bunch of everyone recognized now, say, a family team may play for. So when my team can win, which game we play and win, we get the winnings there. So and I'm not care about nobody else. The stadium just come to watch the game now. You see me? So who up front are the players from the team, and them I get the winnings. We just cheer along as Rasta, So, as I said, brethren, I realize that is not the way to live my life, and I can't be in the conflict and war with my own people. So if my people want to follow them way down the pipers, listening to the piper of Hamlin, and going into the pit of hell with them, I got to leave them alone. While I continue to say Rastafari, who say Rastafari, who want heal Iakongoi, heal them same way, and liberty, and that's it. Yeah? As far as warring people over power and these things, and who is going to run Rasta, who are register Rasta, I spoke my piece, I said what should or should not be done. These who want to follow that and are looking for rounds and rounds of heavyweight matches and bouts between me and people, disappointment for you. I don't come for that. I come to tell the truth, and those who want to live the truth, live the truth. I don't come here to fight down the people who are living in lie. I don't come here to change everybody's mind and make them follow Iakongoi. Iakongoi say what is right, and if you have discernment and sense, you will see what is right. JahBunny say what is right. If you have sense and can discern for certain things, even if I'm saying it in him own way, I may say it in my own way. I just the truth enough for they look for and I live it, you understand? Not what these people decide when they sit amongst these friggin' politicians of how they're gonna run Rasta. More fire, hot, brimstone. I remember say every country will have black people in them, Yeah, even if His Majesty want to draw all these people together. And not all these people want to come together. You have enough house niggas who won't give up massa house to come start off in a no natural, hardcore country liberty. No, them happy and them comfortable in a Babylon and them not involved in any hardcore groundbreaking work. So that bring that come to them. Zane, yeah, and even though we say, yeah, a modern day and we can use machinery and these things, them still no want involved and nothing for do. Them comfortable letting the system making Queen Elizabeth and the rest of our siblings, them royal, let them run England, run the country. Them not in here for govern or rule nothing. Them will cut the grass. Them not need to be at the head of the class, if you know what I'm saying. So this concept now of seeing the king as somebody that could have, done something for everyone. Him still had to deal with Ethiopia first. Him still had to deal with the whole of what was happening in Africa. Over here, so people are in countries that are under their own sovereign rules and laws. Him can't just come pushing and say, yo, this have to go free the people, let go the people, and make it known. This is humanity, this is liberty, this is what it's supposed to be. We're not doing it right, this is wrong, until that philosophy is born out. This and challenge all of them things there. But what could he do? Him had them own people at home who revolt against him and I try to kill him same way, brethren. Remember, him grew up in a beer attacks and people want to get rid of him. Years I listen from him at afar, I'm a hype him life and I watch the chessboard and how this thing play, the Games of Thrones. So it's not a small thing for an emperor. Remember, an emperor is one who's governing many countries, not just a king who governs his own. So we're looking at whole heap of different dimensions of how the king had to deal with his diplomacy. Yeah, and I think he did a good job. Yeah, I'm not going to say anyone did a perfect job, but I think the king did a good job. As we said, even when this famine thing went down, they kept it from Haile Selassie. They purposefully, his people, didn't let him know that the people were going through that. When he found out and tried to give money and all that, was too late. People already scandalizing him, was living in a stupor, living in a dream. Remember, he was King of Kings. He was all over the world. People were, praising him and this, he's even become a god to Rasta. So he's a human. Now people come going like him is not a human. These things do affect anyone and make anyone detached from reality. If an artist himself can just go up on a stage and sing 2 songs, and when people scream for him, they feel like say him as somebody, much less the King of Kings, wherever he go, people bow down in front of him and kiss him. It can go to anyone's head and distract a person from immediacy, and that's what took place in the governance of the country. He delegated most of the authority to his people and underlings. I'm not trying to make no excuse for him, but he's one man. And it's only when we try to make Haile Selassie like say him can't make mistake, I'm not limited in any aspect. Of course I'm limited. If them gonna come make excuse now and say him never know, say in country I got through that because the people them were him give authorization for run the thing, not tell him. And all of these things is just important for people to stop living in fantasy, recognize Haile Selassie was just a man that we made into a divine one. Instead, I'm saying that ones who don't realize the divinity in themselves found it alone in the king and his position in this world. Them see him as someone who had achieved certain things. But like I've said to them, if Haile Selassie come to destroy Babylon and evil, how come we still here talking about what we're talking about or fighting what we're fighting? No. So we got to realize that this system, that these beings were warmongers and murderers, and the king still was trying to chessboard him way through in order to get some things to change, because these people still had power over this planet. You understand? And him coming as one man representing black power and so forth, and showing that black royalty exists, and was a very big move in order to bring I and I back out of this drudgery that we were nothing but useless nothing. So His Majesty touring the world and going around, and people seeing this great black king even sitting with these so-called white leaders. They had to say about, wait, black people, you must be important too if you can't sit down with these people. Because remember, we had no sense of our importance. We just felt like, it's either we rebelling as rebel slaves and are we living under slavery, yeah? Yeah, Jabi, so I know me say a whole lot, and you probably gonna say, bro, that can shift in for the view where you have. But it's not really to shift the eye view. It's more if you say, oh, I view, you know? Because I have sat forward and reason about those things in my head, said we, and look at the situation, you know, today as black people. Yeah, I've done that too, my brother. So, you know, I really would like to just make it clear that I understand the eyes view. And, you know, when even Marcus Garvey said that the Jamaican peoples are ridiculous people, I would extend it to the African people as a ridiculous people. Black people is ridiculous. Yeah. It seems like, you know, they like the slavery. It gives them a lack of responsibility.